Have a look at this. It's quiet, no rattles from the motor, super powerful with a long-range battery and a low-range price. Sounds pretty unfamiliar, right? It's the KELLYS R50, which I think is the perfect all-round trail EMTB for a number of reasons which I'll highlight on this very involved trip run by lush local valley. I think this is a very special bike. Welcome to the Wye Valley then, where I'm going to show you my local trails and hopefully demonstrate what a sub £5,000 bike can do. Whilst I'll be giving you guys an insight into the type of trails I ride on a bike such as the KELLYS R60, there's other things as well, such as this place, which is where I lived during troubled times. Wow, bike really does look up for it, doesn't it? Actually, speaking of which, when I first moved to this area, I went to the local pub with my mate, and he looked up and he said, "Oh, hi, Robert." And I looked up and it was Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin. And he actually used to live down that track there. Anyway, time now for a bit of rock and roll. Now, this is tech. As in really tech. There are many outstanding features on the super precise KELLYS R50, but let's begin with the laser cut aluminium, the robotic welding, CNC post machining, the KELLYS Recharge K1 battery with 725 watt hours give an amazing range for less weight. They've achieved this by developing batteries with the highest capacity to weight ratio possible. Then there's the Bluetooth display with navigation, 27.5 and 29-inch wheels, available in magic pink, magic green and steel blue. And let's not forget the Panasonic GX Ultimate Motor. So out on the trail, this mix of European precision with some Japanese athleticism, the Panasonic GX Ultimate Motor, is a great combination. I mean, riding an EMTB is often like a mix of kendo, judo and sumo. I don't think KELLYS will mind me saying that they're a little bit shy in explaining just what this bike is good at. Pretty much everything, and the fact that it's 130 on the rear and 150mm up front doesn't actually matter because, let's face it, it uses that travel so well. I'm sure you've heard that before many times. For me, having just done possibly one of the most super technical climbs in this valley, that Panasonic GX Ultimate Motor really is deadly in situations like that. I mean, I actually use standard power mode most of this ride, which uses really little battery but gives you a fantastic amount of support. But as I said, when it comes to those really technical uphill sections, that motor is arguably one of the best on the market. And I'm just so surprised more brands don't use it. Now, I've got to show you this. This is probably the smallest Allen key set in the world. I'm just taking this bolt out here. There's the bolt. I think it's a 10mm. And then, look at that. Out comes the battery. Super compact, 725 watt hours, gives a fantastic range because it's high capacity and small weight and small size as well. I mean, why? Oh, why do not other brands do things like this? It is honestly, it is so easy. And there you go, look, pops back in. There's your bolt in the hole, do it up. I mean, this has taken me, how long has this taken me? Like a minute? And the key thing is not just that bolt in this location, it's the fact that it's really well secured and it makes no noise whatsoever. It's a super quiet bike, as I mentioned in the first part of this video. Well done, Kellys. Not so well done many of the brands. I just want to talk about Kellys for just a minute and the really unique bikes that they create. Now, this R50 is built in that faraway place across the English Channel with what Kelly say is one of the most precise frame builders in Europe, if not the world. Of course, there are other bikes in the range. Last year we rode the big hitting F90 170, 180 mil travel with the thermoplastic hybrid steel carbon composite frame. Very unique in the industry. And Rich has actually been riding the all-new F100, which is the lightest, longest range e-mounted bike in the world, which has got an 825 watt-hour battery, it's 20 kilos, it's got the Shimano EP801 motor, and that's made out of a new carbon aramid frame. So lots of bikes and all quite unique. To give you an example of the type of terrain we're riding today, it's not just all super tech, riding fire roads as well. So as you can see here, we've got the remote controller on the Panasonic. Great thing with this is if you needed to, you can have navigation going on that screen, which is really easy to see. So a really good kind of one-stop shop for your mode control and your navigation, route finding, battery levels, cadence. I think cadence is a great thing to have on an e-mounted bike. So there you go, folks. Just a taster of some of the trails. I probably should talk a little bit more about the Panasonic GX Ultimate motor, because in as much as it is one of the most powerful motors we've ever ridden, it's not just the 95 Newton meters, it's actually how the power is delivered. And you know, as I mentioned earlier, on those technical climbs, it's got a really nice bit of overrun, and the engagement is fantastic on it. It's got 4 modes. You've got Eco, Standard, and Auto mode and High. The Auto mode is really cool because it delivers just the right amount of power at the right time. But for me, I actually like riding in Standard. It can do so many things. I think they've made that middle mode absolutely bang on. So great work to Panasonic for that. I'd like to ride the motor on more bikes. And also thanks to Peter and Brano Divanich from Kellys. They're the founders of Kellys, for bringing us such great bikes and allowing us to do this video in such a beautiful location. I want to talk about a few pieces whilst I remember before the lunch stop. Really good frame protection on the chainstay. I mean, look at that mudguard there. It really is exemplary in how it's manufactured and how it's located. Super firm. The cable routing. Look at the attention to detail there as it threads into the top, the bottom bracket area. And if I just spin it round, you can see this asymmetric shock design on the bike. And I think the finish of the bike as well is really well put together. And don't forget that battery removal. Come on. Now, whilst this might look like a straight track, it's actually really involved trying to navigate your way around many rocks, pieces of bog en route. I'm really impressed with the fork on this bike and the fact that it's, you know, under 5,000 euros. You can still get a really good performance bike for that amount of money. some people ask often, what's the motor like above 25 kph? Well, here you go, pedaling down the road, no resistance whatsoever, easy to keep your cadence. You can see I'm running 103, 104 cadence, no problem at all. And my speed, 18 miles per hour. And I could probably sustain this for about 30 seconds. Tintern Abbey was built in a very long time ago. Rumour has it there's a window cleaning job going here. The River Wye down there. Oh, cool. An unexpected moment there. Nice Nico, isn't it?
Hey, man!
Tree down.
Oh, what a tree.
So,
Place for a tree to go.
yeah.
Luckily, it's got the smallest 725 watt battery that's going.
The thing is, right, because I've used half the battery, means the bike's lighter now, so
Isn't it lucky?
that was quite easy. There's Nicky boy.
Make it look easy.
She's right. So, true story, 20 years ago, I did all the fencing on this field for about 2 miles. And here we are back in the field, bothering the sheep. The thing is, the sheep ain't bothered. Nick thinks the sheep are going to be bothered. They don't give a damn. Oh, look at that little black sheep. Little black sheep. Oh, little black sheep. Yeah, look at this lot. Look at this lot. Yeah. Where's the Polish church? Where could it be? Wow. So we just arrived at the Polish church and memorial in the Wye Valley. Do you know what? The more I ride this bike, the more I think how outstanding it is. I think displayed in that descent into Tintern. 130 mil travel on the back, but used it really well. Savage. The importance of having a good suspension design with a shock that has got good parity with that design. You know, 130 mil travel. At no point did I feel out of control in that really tight luge-like descent. And now I've stopped, I've kind of thought, well, actually, do you know what? That display, the navigation, we kind of almost got lost in a few places. If it wasn't for the Bluetooth display on the handlebar there, you can actually connect that to Komoot to get your route right. I've just stopped. I'm looking at some features. I mentioned the mudguard before. What I didn't notice actually was the way the mudguard extends as part of the swinging arm down to the bottom bracket area. So you can see we've been going through sheep fields and cow fields for the last hour, and the front part of the bike is still relatively clean. Going back to the suspension design, now it's a ThinkLink suspension design. You might say, yeah, blah, 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 it's just another suspension design. But what it does the basics really well. And those are sensitivity at the first part of the travel, support in the middle, which is what I was talking about a minute ago, and also the bottom of control. So, like I said, it's a really well thought out bike. And also the geometry, I want to just touch on the geometry. It's got a really low standover in it, so you can get it all over the bike on those technical climbs and descents. It's got a low bomb bracket, it's got a 462mm chainstay, which I'm hoping is going to help me because I know there's a crazy steep climb ahead of me, and a size which sometimes you get lucky. This size is just right for me. Size large. What we have here is proper, hardcore, natural riding. Oh, it's a challenge putting together this puzzle. It's wet here, momentum, the step. Ah, ah, this really is as physical as it gets. Now I want to just quickly talk on the type of terrain we're riding. This is a natural trail. It's been here for, you know, hundreds of years. I want to show the importance of, you know, not digging out the roots on trails. You can see a big root here, walking up the trail. There's two more. We've got two more in here. And returning to the bike, I think, you know, 27.5 Panasonic motor, good geometry, and it makes for a really good adventure and really, really tiring at the same time. Okay, so I'm in high power mode. I cleaned the first section, I'm in easy gear. First part will be the crux. Oh, no, it's a fail. Overrun! Ah. Oh, that's where that instant energy comes in. Woo! How did I get up there? I think that's where, you know, motor personality comes into it. It's able to just step on that pedal and only just make it. Cool, great fun. Okay, so now it's mellowed out for just a second. And then there's a line choice decision to make. Onto the bank. Oh man. Oh, it's horrible, but it's so cool at the same time. See, I need a break here, so sitting down for a second, line choice, rock. So hard. So rewarding though. Just want to log this thought, having just kind of navigated that ludicrous riverbed rock section. And this thought is that climbing's all about motor, overrun, peak power, torque. It's about rider line choice, technicality. But I'm just thinking that possibly a longer travel bike can be a bit lazy in situations like that, because this 130, 150 mile bike, because it's maybe a little bit tighter, obviously all things being equal on the suspension front in terms of the kinematics, I think a bike like this with the right geometry, it's a bloody good climber. And that almost concludes our ride around Wye Valley. When you think of the spectrum of riding that we've done today, you do need to consider the parts that are fitted to this bike, which is sub £5,000, right? You've got super sticky tyres from Schwalbe. You've got Novatec aluminium wheels, which are 30mm up front, 25mm width on the rear. 200mm rotors, SLX brakes, which didn't miss a beat. And then you've got the gears. You've got Shimano Link Glide gears, 1050 on the back. Relatively inexpensive to replace because drivetrains are quite a high turnover part. And a RockShox Zeb Select fork. It goes up, it goes down. It's got more than enough adjustment on it. And like I said, the performance of this bike really is outstanding. And it's got proper quality parts to match. Seat dropper, physique saddle, soft grips. Boom. So distance-wise, today we're on the home straight. Almost 40k. I've got like a little bit of battery left. Done about, I think Nick's last count was 1400 meters. I pretty much used standard mode most of the day, which is really quite an eye-opener. I think what's the cool thing about this bike is the fact that the display goes down as a whole. It doesn't go down in blocks. So I think you've always got a grasp of where you are with your battery. It doesn't surprise you. I did say it was a lush valley that I lived in. I guess there's a difference between lush and overgrown. That's Nico in front. Wow. This bike just carries speed through this stuff because it's got a really strong tune from the shock. You can pop it so easily. And that's coming from someone who doesn't pop. Whoa! So that's it, folks. A little bit of a tour around my local Wye Valley. I hope it gave you some inspiration into, it's not just about trail centres and bike parks. There's some great natural riding there to do as well. I'm definitely not on the fence when it comes to this bike, although I am. Just going to point out, gates are not for sitting on, but this gate, I've already checked, is on the ground anyway. R50, what a bike. Don't forget that we've also done a feature on KELLYS F90, which is a 170, 180mm travel bike with an aluminium frame, with a carbon fibre frame and Shimano EP8 motor. And don't forget to tune into the channel soon when Rich takes the all-new F100, which is 140mm travel, 825 watt-hour battery, 20-kilo bike with the EP8 motor into the hills for a proper enduro ride. Go and join Rich for that ride. Thanks, folks. Join us. See you next time.